Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack one of the absolute most powerful and enduring metaphors for personal growth and resilience out there. We're diving deep into the legendary story of the eagle's midlife renewal. And look, this isn't just some simple nature story about a bird. It's a profound narrative about strength, renewal, and the sheer, unfiltered courage it takes to completely transform yourself when the odds are entirely stacked against you. It is a fascinating look at what it actually takes for us to reach our highest potential.
So, our story begins high above the world. You know the image, right? The eagle reigns supreme in environments that would literally break most other creatures. Up there, the storms are much stronger, the air is incredibly thin. It's a domain of absolute dominance and total freedom. When we think of an eagle, we automatically picture this effortless power and complete mastery of the skies. But that picture-perfect image actually hides a profound challenge, which leads us to a massive question. What exactly must the king of the skies do when it faces a choice between profound, agonizing pain or certain death? What happens when the very tools that made it so dominant in the first place actually begin to fail? Well, that is the dramatic, hidden crisis we're exploring today. Outwardly, we perceive this invincible creature that's completely untouched by hardship, but this hides a really difficult reality. To actually live up to its full potential, the eagle must eventually go through a process that is intensely painful, it's incredibly lonely, and it's just downright difficult. It's not just coasting on the wind forever. True mastery actually requires a brutal, unseen struggle. Part 1. The Reign and the Crisis. So this hidden reality I just mentioned, it actually comes to a head at a very specific point in the eagle's life, right around the age of 40. At this age, the physical toll becomes totally undeniable. The eagle reaches a point where its incredibly powerful body simply begins to wear down. Its feathers become thick and super heavy, making flight exhausting instead of effortless. Its once lethal beak, it grows way too long and painfully curved. And the talons, its absolute primary tools for catching prey, they are nowhere near as sharp as they used to be. Hunting, the very essence of its survival, becomes desperately hard. The eagle is quite literally weighed down by its own age and its past success. Survival demands a decision: change or die. Talk about a stark, uncompromising ultimatum. There is zero comfortable middle ground here. The eagle can either succumb to its physical deterioration and perish, or it can commit to a terrifyingly drastic transformation. Part 2. The painful process. Having made the choice to live, the eagle doesn't just casually shed its old self. It flies up to a solitary place, a high mountain ledge that is completely isolated from the rest of the world, just to begin this grueling ordeal. And let's walk through exactly what this entails, because honestly, it is staggering. First, the eagle strikes its overgrown beak against the hard rock over and over until it breaks off entirely. It makes itself completely defenseless. Second, it just has to wait in that vulnerable state for a completely new beak to grow back. Third, using that brand new beak, it deliberately pulls out its own heavy, old feathers, one by painful, one. And finally, step 4, it waits again. It sits through the bitter cold, the extreme discomfort, and the raging mountain storms until a fresh coat of new feathers fully grows in. 150 days. Just let that sink in for a second. That is how long this solitary, agonizing process can take. Over 150 days. That's roughly 5 whole months of isolation, pain, vulnerability, and just absolute patience. It's a profound testament to endurance. The eagle is entirely stripped down, waiting on a cold ledge for a rebirth that demands absolutely everything it has. Part 3. Transformation and Purpose. But then, after those long, dark months of waiting, the transformation is finally complete. Imagine this moment. Finally, the eagle tests its new wings and takes that crucial first flight. And it is definitely not the same bird that landed on that ledge 150 days ago. It is fundamentally transformed. It's stronger. Its vision is sharper than it's been in years. With perfectly renewed wings, it's fully equipped and ready for many more years of soaring. It flies stronger, freer, and higher than ever before. And that reveals the true meaning behind the whole ordeal. What once was painful has become the reason for its power. The eagle's renewal wasn't just to eke out a few more years of basic survival. No, it goes through the fire so it can rise higher, see farther, and ultimately serve its true purpose in the skies.
The trauma itself was literally the very mechanism of its renewed strength. Part 4. Lessons for us. Now, while this is a magnificent story about an eagle, you and I both know it's really a metaphor designed for us. So how can we apply this brutal but beautiful logic to our own lives? Well, first, recognize that change is undeniably hard, just like shattering a beak against a rock, but it is absolutely necessary if we want to grow. Second, the pain of transformation on that mountain ledge was incredibly severe, but it was temporary. The reward, that renewed life and strength, that's permanent. Most importantly, you have to let go of what holds you back, those old, heavy feathers, to make room for what will actually lift you up. And finally, just as the eagle's highest flights come right after its darkest 150 days, your greatest personal victories often come right after your hardest, most challenging seasons. I want you to remember this. You were not born to stay on the ground. You were born to rise. Whatever heavy feathers or dull talents you might be carrying around right now, just remember that you have the capacity to shed them. You are built for resilience, and you are built to soar higher than ever before. So I want to leave you with this one provocative question to chew on today. What old feathers are you holding on to that are keeping you from soaring higher? It might be old habits, maybe outdated beliefs, or even past successes that are now just weighing you down. Take a page from the Eagle's book. Embrace the discomfort of change, because I promise you that is exactly where your true power lies. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it sparks some real insight for you. Until next time, keep looking up.